Hi, loves. Welcome to the Love Letters from Your Higher Self, the podcast. I just recorded an episode for my Joyous to Be podcast where I said that I'm closing some of my projects, some of my podcasts, and I'm gonna be closing this one too. I know it just started and I'm already finishing it, and this is the reason, this is exactly the reason why I kept postponing it, even though my heart wasn't in it. And, it's hard to explain. And I also wanted to add this episode that I recorded for Joyce to Be. I wanted to add it here too, to this podcast. So you would know the full story and it would also bring you value. And I will add, the second part of this episode is going to be that that episode recorded for Joyce to Be, so I wouldn't repeat myself. But I want to separately say for this episode, for this podcast, is that I started it because I truly, truly wanted to start it. And like I said, like I will say later, like I said in the episode I just recorded for Joyce to Be, sometimes perfectionism is what stops us from starting something because we're scared that we won't finish it. It's one of the fears why we don't start something, because we're not sure, we're not 100% sure that we're gonna do it for the rest of our lives, and then we don't want to start. We want to think shit through and plan ahead for 15 million years, so we would know for sure that it's gonna be the thing that lasts. And this is why we don't start. And when I started this podcast, you can even listen to the intro, right? I shared that I felt called, I felt inspired, it felt like an amazing idea, and I trusted it, and I started, and I felt happy about this. And this short experience of how many episodes, I don't even know, I need to check. Is it 5 episodes here or 6? It's given me so much. And yet, it was short, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it being short. Hold on, I need to check for myself. Okay, so 5 episodes, just 5 episodes. You know what? Actually, there's gonna be 6 episodes. I just decided, because I have pre-recorded 2 readings for the next reading, and I just need the third one, and then there will be episode number 6, and then I will publish this one. So there will be one more reading before I stop recording for this podcast. But what I wanted to say is that it was a valuable experience. It mattered to me. I started it because I wanted to start it, and I want this to be an example for all of you guys that I after I started it, a few months in, I felt like I'm done, and I'm done because I needed to start it, to prove something to myself, to feel myself as capable, to see myself as capable. And this is why I did it, because I felt like it was the desire, and I trusted. It wasn't a fake desire. There was an experience in my life where I I started something. There was an inspired idea. I started a blog, and where I taught people English. I started it because it felt like such an inspired idea, and I trusted it, and I started it, and after a few weeks, I changed my mind, and I was even the next day, I was what am I doing? It's not what I want. And I got so disappointed in my inspiration, because I was what the hell was that? How can I trust my inspiration if I feel inspired one day and then I change my mind to the completely opposite the next day? But what I learned since then, because it was 5 years ago, this experience, What I learned is that I get to trust my inspiration, and it's just that, there is an inspiration to start something, and then there is an inspiration to finish something. First of all, this is how you learn to feel your guidance and to follow your guidance. Second of all, sometimes we start something because we need to go through an experience of finishing it. And it's also so important. And I was resistant. I was resisting it so much because I was like, I didn't want to be a quitter. I didn't want to, start and not finish. And not keep going in this example. And there were things that I couldn't accept about this, and I thought that I was a quitter, and I thought that like I could at least keep going for a year and create content, because like it's a responsibility. When we start something, we commit to it, and and I'm forgiving myself for this, and it's been a beautiful journey while it lasted, and now I'm out and it's okay, and I love and accept myself. And so now I will just add this part, the second part, which is the story from my Joyce to Be podcast, which I also close. So it's the last episode for Joyce to Be podcast. I just wanted to add it here too, so you would know, you guys. You would know the whole story. I just want to say thank you so much. This podcast is tiny. I started it not long ago. There are just 6 episodes, and you've given it such a warm welcome. And I received feedback from you, and you shared with me how my readings helped, and I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful. Will I be doing readings in the future? Probably. Personal readings for sure. Collective readings, or like readings for the audience. I don't know. Maybe if I feel inspired. If you want to work with me, just send me a DM on Instagram, and we'll discuss it, because this, like, the payment situation is hard right now because I live in Russia, and like we can't receive money from abroad. But I work with people, and sometimes we do like service exchange, and sometimes like instead of paying me money, I could ask you to to purchase something for me, some like digital course or something, and that could be it. We could figure something out. So I do personal readings. I'm a channeler, I'm a tarot reader, I'm an intuitive, inspiring, wanted to say. And one of my clients recently called me her spiritual advisor. I really like that, because like I actually was dreaming about being a spiritual advisor, for a long time. So now I'm a spiritual advisor. So if you want to work with me, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm a dash of things, and in the next part of this episode, I will share with you how I decided and why I decided to finish my podcasts. Not all of them, but some of them. And also, I will tell you there how to find me if you still want my content. I will tell you where to find me, where I still hang out and occasionally create content in English. And so that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for listening to my readings. I love you. I wish you all the best. I adore you. And and that's it. And now let's listen to what I pre-recorded already. Bye. Hi, loves. Welcome to the Joyce to Be podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. You guys, as you probably guessed already, I'm recording the last episode of this podcast, and it's interesting. I am sitting here and I decided to record the last episode for 3 of my podcasts. I finally decided to close the projects that, that I'm not full-heartedly into anymore. I am not full-heartedly into anymore. Because like, you know, um, I don't know. I'm just so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself for finally doing this, because I realized a while ago that, like, honestly, if I could do anything I want, I would just do like my main podcast in Russian, and probably my like paid content, my membership on Boosty, which is also in Russian. And these are the two things that I feel most inspired to do. And the rest of it, I felt inspired when I started, and then I didn't, and I couldn't accept it. And I was like, there was this blame game happening where I was like, but I wanted to do it for some reason, and I started it, and it gave me so much. Every project that I started gave me so much, and I'm so grateful for starting. But then, you know, there is this inspiration to finish it, and I don't trust it because, because perfectionism, because there is this, limiting belief happening, that says that like I'm not a quitter and I don't want to be a quitter because it means something about me, and it's just so hard to quit. For some people it's hard to start, but then it's just so hard to quit. And partially, I think that it's very hard to start also because there is this perfectionist in us, that wants us to know all the steps before we actually start the journey, because what if we change our mind and we're so scared of this, and like this is what's happening now. I just changed my mind a while ago. And like if you listen to this whole podcast, you know that, because it's been happening for a while. And I'm so grateful for this podcast, for this Joyous to Be podcast, because it was my first thing. Like, this was my experimental baby where I tried different ideas that I was not sure I could do. And then, like, I would see how it goes here, and then I would start doing it somewhere else. And I love this podcast. I adore it, but I just don't feel like recording here, and like it's a struggle for me because I know that it's an ongoing project that I didn't close, and I just can't leave it at that. I tried. I can't leave things hanging. It's not my style, and like it's not soothing and calming for my nervous system to just keep some projects hanging and like not let people know what's going on. This is why whenever I leave, I just like leave. And like even if after a while I come back, well, then it's a comeback. And right now I feel like I want to leave. And honestly, I want to share with you. Like, I want this podcast to give you value too, not just say goodbye. I've been doing robotic farming for the past week, and like it's a trendy topic lately on YouTube at least. And I knew about it. I even shared with you my success stories, and like I have a few, or maybe like at least one episode about affirmations. And I know how it works. And like I was listening to Sammy Ingram, I was listening to Naya, and I was listening to Rita Kaminsky, and they all talk about robotic farming. And like when I started listening to them, it was like a full yes within me, because I know that. I used to do that. I didn't know how it was called. I was listening to Louise Hay back then, and she was talking about affirmations, and this is what I would do. I was sharing the story with you in the episode about the negative, what's it called? How to protect yourself from negative energy. I will find the number of that, of that episode, and I will tell you where to find it. I mean, you can find it here on this episode. I mean, on this podcast. But what's the name of it and what's the number of it? I'm not sure, but I will find it. And this is where I was sharing the story of how to protect yourself from negative energy. It's episode number 4 in this podcast. And on this podcast. Um this is where I shared the story of how I first used robotic affirming and how it worked for me, uh, and like I didn't know how it was called. I don't know that it was called robotic affirming. Um, I was just like, this is what I felt like doing, and I didn't like the beliefs that I had before, and I wanted to change my reality. And honestly, robotic affirming is what I still do. Like, I recorded an episode a few days ago on for my Russian podcast. If you speak Russian or if you learn Russian, if you study Russian, my Russian podcast is called "Я выбираю себя." I choose myself, and like, you're welcome to to follow me there, like to follow that podcast and listen to me there. There's a lot of content there, and this is the project that I feel inspired to continue. So I'm gonna be there, but I will let you know how to find me, like, and where I will be posting stuff in English. So keep listening. Like I said in my Russian episode that I recorded a few days ago, robotic farming is what I usually do, is what I come back to when shit hits the fan in my life. When there's something that puts me in the energy of panic and the energy of fear, and like I just notice that I keep spiraling down, spiraling back into my negative thinking and the thoughts that are scary to me, and like I don't know how to breathe and how to exist and not cry all the time. This is when I like it's like a trigger for me, and I remember when like I remember about affirmations, and I start doing robotic affirming. I start repeating affirmations of how I want things to be as if it already happened, and I do it like with action. I walk around my apartment, I escape around my apartment and clap my hands and repeat my affirmations, even if I don't feel like, and even if I don't believe what I'm saying, and I'm crying and I'm in fear, I still push through, and I still, persist and keep repeating my affirmations. And it helps me. It saves me every time. And so, like a few weeks ago, I saw a video, like Rita Kaminsky recorded a new video about robotic affirming. And I heard it, like I listened to that video, I watched that video, and I was like, I know that. And I just realized that I use this technique only when there's something seriously wrong in my life, and why not try it when everything's fine? And then I I don't remember how, but I found also like other content creators that I mentioned, Naya and Sammy Ingram, and I listened to everything they had to say about robotic affirming, and like I felt so inspired to try. And so for the past a little bit more than a week, I've been doing robotic affirming. I have a list of affirmations. I think I mentioned to you this quote that I heard from a tarot book. I read from a tarot book that said, if you want to, I don't remember, like if you want to do, to manifest well-being or something like that, if you want to be happy, you need to create rules that will fit you and then live according to them, live by them. And like I took this advice seriously, and I pulled my journal, I picked up my journal. Okay, I picked up my journal and I just wrote down the rules that I want to live by, that would fit me, that would work for me. And then I also like I don't remember if I said it, because I remember talking about it, but I don't remember what exactly I said about this. But then I also paid attention to the fact that, like it's one thing to just create rules for you in a form of affirmations, right? But then it's another thing to live in accordance with those rules, because like this is your responsibility. It's not like you just make this rule, make up this rule, and then you just hope that the universe will hear it and this is how you're gonna live. For example, if you create a rule for you that just money just floods into your life no matter what you do, just because money loves you, for example, and just because, money is attracted to your energy. It's not that then you just keep hoping. It's like you now need to live by this rule and think and speak and feel as if it was true, and like make decisions as if it was true. And why am I saying this to you? Oh, because I made this list of rules, and like these are my affirmations that I affirm, affirmations that I affirmed. And then I have a few lists of affirmations from Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, on different topics that are important to me, like clear skin, like skin problems, and what else? Um, Vision, throat, something else. Like I have lists of all the affirmations about like all the problems with one particular organ, and like I have a list of them and I repeat them. And also like I just sat down and I just wrote down the things that I want to manifest, and I created affirmations out of them. And so I have a bunch of affirmations, and I do robotic affirming on some of them. Like I picked up 3 that are the most important to me, and I robotically affirm them. And like once or twice a day, I set the timer for 15 minutes, and I do this focused affirming every affirmation from my list for like 5 times. And then when the time is up, I just move on with my life, and I do a robotic affirming on the 3 main affirmations that I have. And like, of course, I don't go through all the list. So the next day or the next time, I just start where I stopped previously, and I do 15 minutes of focused affirming. And you know what I noticed? Like I'm so surprised and I'm in shock with the result that I'm getting from a week of robotic affirming. And the most magical thing is that it feels like God is finally like Dasha, you finally have just one thought in your mind instead of like thinking and overthinking and consuming content and like everything else. Your mind is just finally busy with just one thought. And this is why you can hear me, because it's like a meditation, right? Because like sometimes when we meditate we don't think at all, and sometimes when we meditate we are focused on just one mantra, for example. And so robotic affirming does that too. Like when your mind is just focused on just one mantra, on just one affirmation, it's like you're in a receiving mode all the time. And this is how I felt. It's like I'm in a receiving mode all the time. And I started receiving ideas, insights. I started listening more clearly to I started hearing my intuition more clearly. And like when I feel the nudge to go and listen to something and go or find something or go and Google something, I do that because there's like my mind is not messy anymore. There's just 1 or 2 affirmations that I repeat. And like of course my mind wanders sometimes, and like I get distracted, but then when I realize that, I get back to my affirmation. And I started receiving answers to my questions. I started receiving solutions for my problems. That have been problems for a while, that I couldn't solve, and I couldn't come up with ideas around them. And now I'm just receiving these solutions, and I'm receiving these ideas out of nowhere, just because I finally am in a receptive mode because of this robotic affirming. And I also started hearing my desires, I think, more clearly. like a very simple example is that I was growing out my roots because I'm dyeing my hair with henna, and I love the color, but my roots are so light blonde that I get so tired of dyeing my hair every 2 weeks, and this is why I decided to grow out my roots and have like a reverse ombre situation, so I could dye my hair, but like when I feel like it, maybe once a month, maybe once in 2 months, you know. And when I was listening to all those videos about robotic affirming, I heard someone say that they either changed an eye color or something about the height. Maybe they manifested being like a few centimeters taller. But it made me think that, like, if they can do that, then maybe I can change my natural hair color. And I realized that, like, honestly, to be honest, I would just want my natural hair color be red, or at least like, like copper blonde or like strawberry blonde. That way, even if my roots would just like grow a little, it would still look better, and I would just feel a little bit freer around dyeing my hair. And I just like this helped me. I was like, okay, let's create this and let's make an affirmation. And my affirmation is my natural hair color is copper blonde. And like I was repeating this affirmation for a while, and then I was like, it just shows my desire to me. Before that, I couldn't understand, like, what do I want? I like my natural color, but I love henna. And like it was a whole struggle happening in my mind, obsessive compulsively. And I couldn't decide whether I want to be with my natural hair color or red. And like it all just, began, like it all just became solved with the help of this affirmation, because I just came up with an affirmation of what I actually want, and it turned out to be so simple. And sometimes I create an affirmation and I repeat it and I realize that that's not actually what I want. Let's change my affirmation a little bit. And it's like also this robotic affirming technique ended up becoming a very good technique to realize what you actually want, because you start affirming something and then you either feel like this is exactly what you want and you feel uplifted by this affirmation, or you feel like not exactly, I don't think I want that, and then you change it. And out of the blue yesterday, I was doing something else, and then I felt this inspired idea out of nowhere, like let's Google if people actually just wash their hair with henna without dyeing it, without putting this like henna on their hair for hours and like leaving it for hours. Maybe people just wash their hair with henna and like maybe it does something. And I decided to Google that, and I found a video of a woman who was sharing that like this is not exactly what she does, but she leaves henna on her hair for like 20 minutes and she has a lighter tone. And then there were people in her comment section who said that like what they do is they put henna on their hair and immediately wash it out, and this is why they have this just a little bit golden tone on their natural hair instead of it being really like brightly red. And I was like, oh my god, I've been using henna for decades and I did not know that you can actually just use it, like put it on your head and just wait for 2 minutes and then wash it off, and like it will give you this natural golden tone. And like I did it yesterday. I immediately went to the bathroom, to the bathroom, and I put henna on my hair for 10 minutes and I wash it off, and now I have this really like, well, copper blonde, I would say, maybe a little bit darker than copper blonde. But I was like, I could do this, and now I'm testing, like in 2 weeks, will there be a big difference between my roots and these lighter hennaed hair? And if it's okay, then it will give me this perfect opportunity to dye my hair whenever I want, and if there still will be difference, then I will just leave henna on my hair, not for 10 minutes but for 5 minutes. And like this solution, I can't even explain to you. Like maybe you're not into dyeing your hair at all, and maybe you're just not understanding right now what the fuss is all about. But for me, it was an unsolvable problem for a lot of time, for a long period of time. And now it just solved so easily. Because like there is not a struggle within me anymore between like staying natural or dyeing my hair with henna, which I adore and love and like a huge fan of. And there are a bunch of examples like that. I'm trying to remember. There was some. Oh, and like the second example is that like I was watching Naya, actually, a YouTuber, and just because I felt inspired to listen to, like, to check her channel, and I watched like some of her videos, a bunch of her videos, and then she said that she had a previous channel, and I found that channel, and it turned out that she was doing card readings, tarot readings before. And then there's this last video on her channel where she said that like she's not resonating with this work anymore, and she's appreciative of everyone, like of her community, but she's moving on to another chapter of her life. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And like, her example kind of gave me permission to finally accept that like this chapter of my life is over, and like I don't know what's coming next, but for now I'm excited with this, and like we'll see. And I invite you with me like into my journey, but like I'm going to finish this project, and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, like it's so simple, and I like it wasn't simple for me at all. And because I was just so open to new ideas, because my mind was not obsessing and overthinking and trying to solve all the problems from the energy of the problem, I was just repeating my affirmations, which were not about the content at all. They were about like my financial situation, they were about my like my body. I was just, this is how it feels to me. What robotic affirming does is you're like in a meditative state all the time, partially, because you're repeating your affirmations, and like your mind does not wander, is not obsessing, and like it's just free for new ideas and new inspirations. And this is why I decided that today is the day where I'm going to record outros for 3 out of 5 of my podcasts. I'm not gonna do readings anymore, neither in Russian nor in English, and I'm not gonna keep my Joyous to Be podcast hanging, this project hanging. And seriously, you guys, like robotic affirming is amazing. I have I have 2 episodes on my podcast about, well, at least 2 about affirmations. I have this number 4, like the episode number 4, how to protect yourself from negative energy, where I share about this. And also there should be the episode about affirmations and how to work with them. Well, it's either here or on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, there is a video about how to work with affirmations. So you can find it there, I guess. I will add it to the description, to the show notes, so you could find it easily. There will be the link to that video about affirmations. And so, yeah, and like, this is why I'm recording this episode right now, and it's time to say goodbye. It's been time to say goodbye for a long time, and like I finally decided to do it, and I finally have the balls to do it. And like, if you want to follow my work and you're an English speaker and not a Russian speaker, I would not unfollow me on Instagram and on YouTube, because like YouTube is where I occasionally still show up, my English YouTube channel. And there will be a link, there is a link in the show notes. I sometimes record videos there because I just feel chatty. I'm also not saying goodbye to Twitch. Sometimes I stream there, very rarely, but like this is the project that I still like. I think I already quit it once, but now like I sometimes occasionally feel like streaming and I stream. So follow me on Twitch. I'm at Dasha Talks there. Instagram, I'm thinking I will keep it for a while, and then if I decide to close it, I will let you know there. And one more thing, like one more place where I still show up, and maybe I will show up more often, but like I'm not 100% sure right now, is my blog. It's joyous to be at WordPress. I don't remember exactly, but I think there is a link on my no, I will just let you know. I know how to find it. I don't remember the exact link, but it's like joyous to be. Oh, I found it. Joyous to be, one word, joyous to be .wordpress.com. So this is my blog in English, and this is where I still show up sometimes. So like I will not be uploading anything here anymore on Joyous to Be, but I will keep it like the podcast. But for my content in English, you could still check my blog on WordPress, my YouTube channel in English, which I think is called Dasha Thinks, and my Instagram is also Dasha Thinks, and Twitch occasionally, but like it's not the priority. It's not the main thing that I do. And yeah, and that's all I wanted to say. You guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast and growing with me. And like this podcast means so much to me. I love it so much, and I love you so much. And it was a very amazing experience. It's given me so much, and like I'm gonna be forever grateful. But I feel very pure and very clear about this right now. I'm doing the right thing, and like I wanted to do it for a long time, and now it's time. It must have been love, but it's over now. The song came to mind. It must have been love, but it's over now. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on other socials. And I love you. I wish you the very best, and talk to you on my blog or on my Insta soon, or maybe on my YouTube channel. Well, you get the idea. And thank you so much. Thank you, my little beautiful podcast. I adore you. And yeah. And we're out, I wanted to say, because I listened to a lot of Sami Ingram lately. So this is the first thing that came to mind when it comes to saying goodbye to my audience. Bye. I love you. And yeah, that's all. Mwah.